Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope everything is good and great and wonderful. I'm okay. I'm back on writing and I'm okay. I am not caught up, but I had a weird coincidence today that when I stopped writing, and I thought that was really funny. As you may not know, yesterday I talked about I didn't meet my goal yesterday for the first time since starting this. That's not true, but it's true. I didn't meet my word count goal, but I did spend time at the machine yesterday, which is my ultimate real life goal, is to spend at least an hour a day writing. Words don't really matter, but I did spend probably an hour at my keyboard yesterday working on the book. I just didn't get any words written in that time. But today I did. Part of the realization was that my story wasn't going anywhere. I was just having all of these kind of semi-random scenes where the main character was just constantly getting assaulted, like physically assaulted, and having to fix it. And it really didn't tie into anything. I thought there was going to be a bigger plot, and it didn't really work out that way, and that's why I started to get kind of hung up on it. What I realized today, I just wrote. I wrote as Stephen King as I could possibly write. Just words, lots of description, lots of memories, lots of feelings, smells, and emotions. I wrote a lot of that today just to do it. And while going through all of that, I realized that I could play on an earlier scenario in the book and really turn that into, oh, this is what's going on, right? This is the main thing. And the problem is, I wrote that in, it completely kind of screws up a whole bunch that I have to go back and rewrite someday. But I think it's a much better direction for the book overall. So I'm excited. So I got through that. As soon as I wrote that part, I was like, oh, yeah. That's going to be the key that twists and makes everything work. Start the engine kind of thing. So I did that and I stopped. And then I was talking to Em. We were talking about life stuff, and I was like, well, let me check my word count. And as of right this minute, I have written 28,339 words. And if I look at my calendar, my goal for yesterday was 28,339 words. So I am currently at exactly yesterday's goal. And that was completely at random. There is no goal from NaNoWriMo. If you've never participated in NaNoWriMo, they don't set a daily goal that you have to hit. They set milestones. So you have a milestone at like 2,500, 5,000, 15,000, 25,000, 40,000 finishing. You have daily check-in milestones. So if you check in for 3 days in a row, 7 days, 14 days, that sort of thing. But they don't say you have to write, these are your daily goals. But if you take the month and you break it down into how many words do I have to write each day to hit 50,000, it's 1,667. So I just took that number and I made it, I put it in my Google Calendar, and each day I just added that, and that's what it is. So as of yesterday, I should have been at 28,339, which is exactly where I'm at right now. Which is probably, that includes chapter headings, that includes my little address and stuff at the top. So it's not a true 28,339 words of a book, but, that it counts. So I need to get caught up. I think I'm in a direction where I can get caught up. The thing that I'm learning here is that this book is garbage. Complete garbage. And it's going to be complete garbage at the end of this month. And that's perfectly okay. What I wanted to take away from NaNoWriMo is two things. One, I wanted to build a habit of writing. Period. I wanted to actually form a habitual writing, make it a part of my routine, and that's what I'm working on still. I feel the pull right now because I'm still excited about this book, but I want that pull to be there even when I'm not excited. I want to be able to write as kind of a jobby, like a hobby job, right? The second thing is I don't know what it takes to write a book. So until I've written a book's length of words, it's really hard to know how to write a book. You can read all the writing advice in the world, and you can sit down and, pick out the saves the cat 15 plot points, and you can write all of those plot points down, and you can pick out character arcs, and you can write those down. But until you actually sat down and tried to write a chapter, or 12, no, what am I on right now? I'm on chapter 14. It's really hard to know how big, like volume-wise, when you pick a story point, you go, this is going to be a really cool story point, and you expect to get a full chapter out of it, and it turns out it's really only like 3 paragraphs. That's something that you don't know until you do it. And that's the other thing I'm trying to take away from this. I know that I'm an underwriter. I know that if somebody else was writing this book right now, if a seasoned author was writing what I have right now at chapter 14, it would probably be, they'd probably be 10 to 20,000 words ahead of me. Because I really under-explain things. I really just kind of go. And that's not a bad thing. It gives me the freedom to kind of layer it later on. But it makes it more difficult for me to understand what is a 70,000 word novel? What is a 80,000 word novel? I don't know until I've done it. And so that's the other thing I'm trying to take away. The last thing I'm trying to take away is I know there is no doubt in my mind this book will never be a book. It'll be a finished thing. It'll be something that I can look back at, but it's never going to get published in this form. If I wanted to tell this particular story with this particular character, I would have to just scrap it and rewrite it. I know that. But I also need to learn what a revision process is like. And this one's going to take a lot of revision. There's a ton of stuff that needs to be corrected. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the work. I am going to finish this book. It will be a full story, and then it will just stay in my Google Drive forever. And when I'm dead and gone, somebody could publish it, as a lost volume or something. But I want to learn how the revision process works, and I want to see how many or how more. I want to take this finished story that's probably going to end up at 60,000 words and see if after a full revision, if it ends up at 80 or if it ends up at 50. Like, is it going to get bigger or smaller? I don't know. But I'm feeling better about it. The story stuff that I was hung up on is just that. It was story stuff. And what I forgot was that I have characters to lean on. And these characters are the story. The plot is, who cares, right? The characters are where it's at. And I should have realized that earlier and just kind of forgot. So I really just need to lean into them, and they'll write the book for me. That's the direction I'm heading right now, which means that I need to rewrite a whole bunch of stuff to make it all make sense with recent changes. So we'll see what happens, but I'm hopeful. I'm going to try really hard to hit the word count tonight. If I don't, I will try to catch up tomorrow and, play it out through the weekend. I do have the girls this weekend, so that's going to make writing a little bit more difficult, but I think they also want me to succeed, so maybe that'll help. We'll see. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you, and I will see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is deprecate. It is a verb meaning to express severe disapproval of another's actions. Those who profess to favor freedom and yet deprecate agitation are men who want crops without plowing up the ground. Frederick Douglass, an American abolitionist and orator. Deprecate. D-E-P-R-E-C-A-T-E. We use deprecate in software to talk about old versions of things. That's deprecated. Is that the same word?